These past couple of weeks, I've been hearing word of a new animated show coming out called Knights of Guinevere. I saw some of its promotional art, and I thought it looked interesting enough to put it on my watch list. Now, as a fully functioning adult, I don't have a lot of time to do everything that I want.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So normally, if I put something on a watch list, I may only get to it a couple months or a year later.
That's no good.
But God saw fit to make sure I watched the show because it popped up on my YouTube algorithm. And I figured since I had the time, why not watch it? And I have to say that Knights of Guinevere, the pilot episode, was worth the watch. Now, you may ask, what is Knights of Guinevere about? Well, I'm glad you asked.
Finally!
It is an American-Australian animated sci-fi psychological thriller web series. It's a mouthful. Created by Dana Terrence, John Bailey Owen, and Zach Marcus. You can watch the series on the YouTube channel of Glitch Productions, who are known for several original animated series like The Amazing Visual. Knights of Guinevere is set on Park Planet, which is a worldwide amusement park in the clouds. So think Disneyland, but sci-fi. The mascot is the titular Princess Guinevere, an android used to bring happiness to everyone that visits Park Planet. The story revolves around several different characters trying to use Princess Guinevere to better their lives one way or another. This pilot episode is well executed. I found myself hooked in the first few minutes. The beginning gives you hints of the unsettling truth about Park Planet itself, just enough for you to be invested into the mystery of its foundation and the Park family, the founders of the amusement park. I wasn't expecting the show to be as unsettling as it actually was, probably because I didn't have any expectations going into it. But the show can be very creepy, but not to the point where you would not be turned off to it. I can compare this creepiness, this unsettling feeling, to the mood and atmosphere to like one of my favorite games that came out recently, Liza P, which also has similar aspects that Knights of Guinevere has, where there are robots that are built to serve humans, but they somehow evolve and rebel against their programming, against the people that they are meant to serve.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Another unsettling aspect of the show is the state of the world that is told in. Park Planet is set up to be a beacon of happiness for everyone, but you'll see examples of pollution caused by the amusement park itself, people getting sick from some sort of illness that I can only assume is from the amusement park, and people also doing illegal activities because the amusement park is probably taking up all the businesses in the area, and they have to rely on this corporation. And I couldn't help but compare Park Planet, the amusement park in the show, to real world examples or amusement parks or corporations like Disney or Nintendo.
Huh?
And these entities or corporation, whatever you want to call them, they provide an unforgettable experience. And I can't tell you how many times that something Disney or Nintendo has provided to us that I've played, that has changed my life or influenced my life in some way. But the show also makes you think about, are these experiences worth the harmful effects that comes with them? And the show also shows like how we can be somewhat complicit in those actions, at least from what I can gather or what I can guess so far from this first episode. It's too early to tell, because there are some characters that choose to take advantage of Guinevere, who at this point is like I don't want to spoil it, but they choose to take advantage of like Guinevere, the mascot, for their own reasons, whether it's for money, their ideals, this dream that they have, or whether they just don't care at all.
We need to stay away from these niggas.
So speaking of the characters, Knights of Guinevere has a great cast of characters that I feel like does a pretty good job at like introducing us, like getting the viewers, like myself and like other people, interested in the world and get us invested into like their lives and stuff like that. So the main two is Frankie and Andy, who basically are the conduit for like the viewer. I think Frankie is more of the conduit than like Andy, but I kind of see them both but I kind of compare them to they have like SpongeBob and Squidward energy, where like Frankie is this naive, happy-go-lucky person that has like this big dreams, while Andy is, but she's experienced life, like she's seen the harsh realities of life, and she's just kind of done with it. Is what I'm getting from Andy, so that's why I kind of compare it to them to Frankie being SpongeBob and Andy being Squidward. So the Park family is a very interesting group of people. I don't want to spoil too much about them for what I've seen. I mean, this is the first episode, but I feel like the first episode gave a lot of information about them because there's obviously something's going on, and I can't wait to see like what happens with them. But they're very set up well as like villains, and I would love to see like what's the deal with them. And then Guinevere herself, the titular character, she is a very interesting thing because she is not really seen as an actual person or a sentient being.
I beg your pardon?
I feel like everybody's treating her as like objects or like the Holy Grail, because I know that this series is Knights of Guinevere, which is kind of similar to the Knights of the Round Table, like King Arthur, Guinevere, stuff like that. So I feel like they kind of treating her like the Holy Grail, which may be the whole point of it. And there's other characters, well, too, that another thing I like about the characters that they each have their own goals that I feel like I can see with my foresight and my experience with like TV shows like this that they're going to clash at some point, which I'm very excited to see. But I think the group of characters are very interesting, unique, and I can't wait to see what happens. So, in conclusion, this pilot episode is very good. I was, like I said before, I was hooked in the first few minutes, and it kept my attention throughout the entire episode. It did a very great job at showing enough to get you interested, but also purposely hiding stuff to where you're like, okay, what just happened, or like what information I'm missing, or like leading breadcrumbs along the way. That's what I feel like it. The show reminds me of like the mood and atmosphere from like some of my favorite video games like Bloodborne and Lies of P, where in those games the world is already in the ruined state at the beginning of it, and you have to like explore it to find out how it got to that point and why and stuff like that. And it's kind of like what's happening here. So with this is an animated show, so I'm not directly involved with it. But the characters, the cast of characters that they have here, have enough, meat, in their character to where I'm invested into them to go through the story with them to see what exactly happened in the story, and to uncover these mysteries with the Park family, Guinevere. What's the deal with Guinevere herself? Why the world is the world it is the way it is. But Knights of Guinevere is a very great start. I can't wait to see more. If you guys like to see more of this stuff, just let me know. Comment. If you've seen this, see if you've seen it. Tell me what you thought about it. Point out like any like theories or anything like that. Maybe I'll make a video about that or some of the things I think about it. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all of that. YouTuber stuff. But I hope you guys have a great day, and thank you.